Welcome, Cheryl, Vanessa. I'm so excited to be talking to Ann. You want to introduce your guest over here?
Yes, this is Rooney.
Rooney on the side that you all can't see. I'm so excited to be talking about the Grateful Homie Project and the work that you guys are doing. But first, let's just jump in real quick and share a little bit about yourself. What brought you to this work of Grateful Homie?
For me, it was just recovery in general. Trying the same coping mechanism for the millionth time and it not working, and coming with a wide range of what's the word I'm trying to think of? Consequences. But then also seeing kind of the same lack in the community, just as far as recovery connection goes.
Yeah. How about you, Cheryl?
Mine would be like, I was going to recovery meetings throughout the area, but I have been going to these recovery meetings for 5 years, the same old, same old. And when I heard of the Grateful Homie Project, I went over, and here's Vanessa, and of course I know Vanessa, and I've known her for quite some time, and I ran into her, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. But she did invite me to the opening of the Grateful Homie. I was there, and then we just got to talking, and all of a sudden she's just like out of nowhere, well, would you like to chair me? I was like, you know what? And I was thinking about it, and I've done the other recovery meetings, but then I was like, well, you know what? I think I'd like to Wellbriety. I would like to bring in a Wellbriety, like Red Road kind of type of meeting. And so that's how we just got started talking, and she asked me to go ahead, we got a time slot for you, when do you want it to be? And I was like, well, I get to choose. I was like, so I picked Wednesday nights at 7:30. It's my night off of work, and it all worked out, and I'm just grateful to be a part of, because it's a wonderful, wonderful place to be for recovery.
Yeah. So I just want to share for those that are watching this, how I came to this. Again, I met you, Vanessa, just a few months ago. And obviously those who know me or follow me in my journey, we've been working with the justice impacted stuff for quite some time. And I think it's time that we have, broaden the conversation, because whether you're talking about houselessness, addiction, justice impacted, they're also interrelated, and yet no one can find these solutions. And when I heard about what you guys were doing from a grassroots standpoint, I was all in from day one to say, how do we help support this work? Obviously, Cheryl, we've known each other for a few years, and I just think about that space of what you said. There was a gap. And I applaud somebody who sees a gap and just says, I'm going to stop waiting for somebody else to step into it, and you say, I'm going to raise my hand and step into it myself. And so walk me through, when someone comes to the Grateful Homie, what should they be able to expect? What kind of environment? What do you have there for them when they come to your space?
So the first thing I think that sets it apart from most clubhouses is it's just a homey feeling. We have like couches, super comfortable seating, feels like one big giant living room. So right away people are gonna feel like they're at home. I would say, other than that, when somebody comes in, they can expect to not only feel welcomed, but they can feel, because I think that all of us in recovery, we kind of go through this like thing where we have it all figured out and we know the answer to everything, and it's like none of us has everything figured out. None of us really knows what we're doing. We're just trying to take what works and work with that. So I think that you automatically kind of feel this, like you can drop the mask, you can let the facade down, you can just be yourself and not know what the fuck you're doing and have just a goal of wanting to better yourself and better your life and feel welcomed in that.
Yeah. I think that's, so big for me when we think about the continuation, because again, when people really step back in this space, where you live, where you work, and then who your community is. That's what matters. And, when you step into this, and anyone just pauses for a moment and recognize again, when people are in this system, whether it's addiction, whether it's justice impacted, like where are you supposed to find the alternative community? And so I know when we sat down, it was either late April, somewhere in that ballpark, and you shared with me, like, you have like 15 different groups coming together, 150 people. I said, that is quintessential community. That's grassroots right there. Cheryl, you run a class or two, right? And so talk about, like, when people walk into your space, why do you think it's important that people feel so welcomed and they have the different options of finding their right fit for them in this space?
So mine is Native American based. I run it off of Red Road, but recovery, but it is open to everybody, you know, all shapes, sizes, colors. You know, there is no, I mean, no one is turned away. And when you come into mine, I open up the meeting, you know, I open up with a prayer. And, you know, it's just burning of sage. And, you know, last week I had 23 participants. It was amazing. 23. Wow. And, you know, a lot of them were Native American. But, you know, I mean, all colors are invited. And I just love it because I play a little bit of a flute music on my speaker and pass the sage. We just sage off, you know, and start off with a good vibe. And then talking circle, I have a talking stick, and not to use it on anybody, but it's
You handcrafted it yourself.
yeah, I made it myself for my meeting. I went in my backyard and I found a stick and I shaved all the bark off, and then I sanded it, and then I put 2 pieces of leather on each side and beaded the 4 direction colors on one side. So when we pass the stick, and you always go to the left, when you pass the stick, when you're talking, after you're done, you pass the stick, and then, you know, it's just for anxiety or something to fidget with. It's more or less like what are those new things they play with, squishy? Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's just that type of mentality that goes with it. You just mess around with it if you're nervous. But yeah, and then it's just basically you don't have to be open up with addict alcoholic. My meeting is just talking circle, and whatever's on your mind. I do read I do have some daily reflections, which is the meditations of the it's a Native American meditation, a little bit, the elders. I'll open up with some, and then there's another book that I read from, but I will open up with just a meditation, and then we could go off that, or you could go off of anything that's on your mind. That's why it's called Talking Circle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's basically, it's awesome, and I've had some really good experiences.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are starting to find out, and they're coming in, and every one of them, I feel very comfortable here. Thank you, Cheryl.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So share with me again, just obviously you had the dream and vision of it, and you stepped out and said, we're going to take a chance in this. What was a moment or a story when you felt like, yeah, this is, I knew we did the right, scary, how are you going to pay for it? But what was a moment when you were like, this is why we do it? Give me one of those stories quick.
I think that obviously, like, the finances and all the responsibility and stuff like that is by far the most intimidating, and also being a felon, it's like, how is this supposed to even be a thing? You know, if no one will rent to me, how is this supposed to be a thing? So I think that between getting approved for the space and then also sending a call out to the community, because we didn't know that we were going to need the down payment for the space, like literally the day before we moved in, and we were like, oh my gosh, $800. Like, what do we do? And I sent a call out on Facebook, and we had the money within like a half hour, I think. And I was like, okay, this is going to be okay. It might not all be figured out, and it might be messy, but I feel like if we just trust the process, like it's supposed to be something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I think, for me, and why I'm excited, you can go grab it if you need. It's okay.
She wants to be part of.
She's like, I want to be on the microphone.
That's right. She wants to share.
Why I'm so excited about what you guys are doing in this space, and why I said, again, we're excited next month. We have a retreat we're doing together. but it was so necessary in the ecosystem of our community. If you don't have people who have walked the path, because again, I applaud all the folks that go to school and get degrees in this space. It's important to get that side of it, but lived experience matters so tremendously in this space. And so how do we start to come alongside some of these things for people to be able to say, we're going to walk with you, we're going to show you the path. And that's why, again, when you have those lived stories of, I've been there, I know exactly what it's like in this moment, and having layers of it. That's when you tell me the numbers, 150 people going through this, you have 15 individuals. And so for us, next month we're doing this Elevating Community Conference. And we chose Grateful Homie to be the recipient of any dollars above and beyond the cost of the conference, because we have to create an ecosystem in this space. And so as you think about just looking forward, what's something that's got you excited about the potential of what's on the horizon with this project?
I think the thing that makes me the most excited is that we are finally creating more opportunities. And I think that, like, when it comes to transportation, and just like, especially at the beginning when you have so many odds against you and you're supposed to somehow make a comeback and you have no resources, like, how are you supposed to do that?
Yeah.
And I was blessed with a grandma who made sure that I didn't really have to worry about rides and stuff like that. Like, she would get off work, she would do whatever it took to make sure that I was good. And so kind of just using that same spirit to make sure that everybody's good, to make sure that everybody has rides, to make sure that everybody's connected. Because that's not something that it feels just so against you. You know what I mean? As far as just the everyday stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like Grateful Homie Project is really in a good area because of the arch, and just right on the bus line too. That's really good too. And so the arch people get to walk there, and that for me was a big thing when I was when I didn't have a car, and that's why I went to West Side, because I used to live near there. But I think that's the thing, is just being in a central location. It's really a good area. Mm-hmm. And we do have a lot of people coming from the arch and all that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the really exciting thing about it too, because we're getting to meet people when they're brand new in the journey, like just got out of treatment, still trying to figure out what is even going on. And then to be able to, like, especially with the arch, the people coming in from the arch, one of them will tell a group of them, hey, let's go over to the Grateful Homie Project, let's go to a meeting. And then before you know it, they're walking in a group to come to the Grateful Homie Project to have a meeting. And we've even been able to pick out a couple people who, because the thing with the lifestyle is that not everybody's completely over it yet. Sometimes we go back and we see if it works again, and, to find out it doesn't work again. But when we're able to kind of identify leaders who are just sick and tired of being sick and tired of that life, and giving them opportunities to step into being a leader, carrying the message, the same thing that has kept us sober the whole time is just giving it back to another person. So being able to really watch people come in from the time that they get out of treatment to the time that they really start to, like, sobriety really starts to become part of their identity, and they start stepping into it, and they realize, oh my gosh, this isn't scary, this is freaking sweet, this is great,
One step at a time.
What's that?
One step at a time.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I'm most excited. Just, again, only known you for a few months, but I'm all in helping to make sure that, and I was telling folks, this has to succeed. And I'm kind of tethered to it in that way of, like, it has to succeed, because again, the biggest gap that I see is community. Again, we can't overnight, we can't change housing like we would like to for folks. You can't change more employers wanting to necessarily open their doors and hire folks who have kind of a past or a record or whatever the case is, but you can start to build community. And that's the side of it of when you guys are a missing link that's in our community, that, you know, my vision of saying, you know, imagine I can think 5 years down the road and now you have a whole different space and you have so many different folks that are growing out of this. It's that I always say, build a ladder of success for those who are willing to climb it. And that ladder has rungs, because from someone like me, if I go down and talk to someone fresh out, they're going to see me and I'm like way over here, versus again, the ones that they see every step of the way. When you're fresh out of treatment or you're fresh out of jail, there's somebody who's just one step ahead of you, but they're saying it's worth it. It's better up here. Come on, just stick to the plan, stick to the process. And so my last sentence here, finish this sentence out for me. The Grateful Homie Project exists so that.
Ooh, we can save lives.
I think so that nobody has to feel alone. I think that's...
Those two, save lives and don't have to feel alone. I mean, that's just one of those things that we're in. So I'm so grateful for the both of you. I'm grateful for the work that you're doing. Obviously, we're building this relationship of helping to support any way we can. But again, I applaud you guys for having the courage to step up and meet a need, not wait for, hey, city, you should do this, or state, you do that. We're going to do it ourselves. And then when you do it, what happens? Support comes and people come alongside that. And so we're excited to uplift you guys for our Elevating Community event, September 22nd. We'll have a table for you guys as well. Can't wait for you to share some of your testimony there as well. But again, keep up the great work and keep saving lives and making sure folks that they don't feel alone. So thank you for joining today.
Thank you.